After years of pain, Anna Duggar signs the papers and says goodbye forever. Anna Duggar's name has been whispered, questioned, and discussed for years, often under the shadow of her husband, Josh Duggar. But today, her story takes a different turn, one that isn't about scandal or silence, but about closure, courage, and the quiet strength of a woman who has endured more than most can imagine. Viewers joining us today, welcome to our channel. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an update as we unpack this emotional chapter in the Duggar family's ongoing saga, a chapter that reveals not just the end of a marriage, but the beginning of something far more powerful: personal freedom. Anna Duggar has officially signed the divorce papers, ending a marriage that has defined much of her public life. For years, fans and critics alike have speculated whether she would ever make this move, given her deep religious convictions and the Duggar family's long-standing belief in marriage as a sacred, lifelong bond. Yet when the silence finally broke, it wasn't through a dramatic announcement or a public confrontation. It was through a document, a quiet signature that carried the weight of years of suffering, reflection, and finally, release. Those who have followed the Duggar family know that Anna's story is not just about one woman's marriage. It's a reflection of what happens when personal conviction meets painful reality. Married to Josh Duggar since 2008, Anna stood by her husband through one controversy after another, scandals that shattered the family's image and drew national outrage. Through it all, she remained steadfast, raising her children and rarely speaking publicly, even when her world was falling apart. But behind that quiet demeanor, many sensed the growing emotional storm that could no longer be contained. Today, as the news of her finalized divorce circulates, the reaction has been mixed, not because people are surprised, but because they are deeply moved. For years, Anna represented the loyal, forgiving wife in a culture that glorified submission and patience. But with this step, she has redefined what forgiveness can mean. It is not the act of staying indefinitely in pain. Sometimes it is the courage to walk away and rebuild from nothing. Experts familiar with family psychology have pointed out that Anna's decision to leave marks a significant emotional milestone. For individuals raised in deeply conservative circles, breaking from a marriage is not merely a legal act. It's a personal revolution. It means confronting not only external judgment, but also the internalized fear of disappointing one's faith community, one's family, and even oneself. In Anna's case, that choice has been a long time coming, and it may well serve as a turning point in how the Duggar family's women navigate independence in the years ahead. Josh Duggar's legal troubles have been widely reported, and while those stories have dominated headlines, Anna's own journey often remained in the background. She became a symbol of endurance, but endurance has limits. Close observers of the Duggar circle began noticing subtle changes months ago, small but telling shifts in how Anna presented herself online, how she interacted with other family members, and how she appeared in public. The once constant presence by Josh's side began to fade, replaced by a quieter, more introspective figure, one seemingly searching for her own voice beyond the shadow of her husband's legacy. When the paperwork was finally signed, it wasn't done amid fanfare or family gatherings. According to sources close to the matter, Anna chose a private, respectful setting. No cameras, no social media, no statement, just a decision that speaks louder than any interview could. It is a decision rooted in dignity, a quiet protest against years of being defined by someone else's actions. Public reaction to this development has been both empathetic and reflective. Social media is filled with messages of support from people who see in Anna's journey their own struggles with letting go of toxic relationships, whether bound by faith, culture, or obligation. For many women in conservative communities, her step is more than personal, it's symbolic. It challenges the long-held narrative that a woman's worth lies only in her ability to endure pain silently. The Duggar family, known for their emphasis on faith, family, and traditional roles, now faces an internal reckoning. While there has been no official statement from the family patriarch, Jim Bob Duggar, it is clear that this decision forces a reevaluation of what family unity truly means. Can unity exist without accountability? Can love survive without respect? These are the questions that now hang in the air as the Duggars adjust to yet another seismic shift in their public identity. In the midst of this transition, What stands out most about Anna's story is her composure. She has chosen not to speak publicly about the divorce, not to assign blame, not to seek pity. Instead, her actions, quiet, deliberate, and resolute, have done the talking. There is strength in silence, but there is even greater strength in making a choice that defies expectation. For Anna, it appears that strength has come not from rebellion, but from self-preservation. Legal experts note that the signing of the divorce papers not only finalizes the end of her marriage, but also sets into motion complex arrangements regarding assets, custody, and support. Given the size and visibility of the Duggar family, these details are likely to attract significant public interest in the months ahead. However, beyond the legalities lies something deeper: the emotional process of rebuilding a life that for over a decade revolved around someone else's choices. Faith leaders have also weighed in, offering both compassion and perspective. Many point out that while divorce is often discouraged within conservative Christian frameworks, it is not forbidden when safety, well-being, and truth are at stake. Anna's decision, therefore, might not be an act of rebellion against her faith, but rather a reaffirmation of it. A belief that God's love does not require self-destruction, that grace can coexist with boundaries. Friends of the family, though cautious in their words, have hinted at a renewed sense of peace in Anna's life. Freed from the constant scrutiny that came with being tied to Josh's controversies, she has reportedly been focusing on her children and personal growth. There is talk of her engaging in small business ventures, homeschooling initiatives, and perhaps even public advocacy for women navigating similar challenges. While it remains to be seen whether Anna will ever step back into the public spotlight, one thing seems certain: she is no longer defined by the choices of her past. The emotional response from longtime viewers of the Duggar family's television legacy has been particularly poignant. For years, the show presented an image of harmony, simplicity, and unwavering faith. Now, with one of its central figures choosing independence, that image is being revisited through a more realistic lens, one that acknowledges pain, imperfection, and growth as part of the human story. Anna's journey reminds audiences that even those who appear to have perfect lives on screen are often fighting unseen battles behind the scenes. As we reflect on this moment, there's a broader lesson that transcends celebrity or family fame. It's about the courage it takes to accept that sometimes love is not enough to heal what has been broken. It's about realizing that endurance, while admirable, must be balanced with self-respect. Anna Duggar's quiet courage offers a mirror for anyone who has ever struggled with the tension between duty and self-preservation. Her decision teaches us that liberation doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes it arrives in the form of a single silent signature on a page. In the months to come, Anna's path will likely continue to evolve. There will be challenges, no doubt, emotional adjustments, public scrutiny, and the responsibility of raising her children amid ongoing attention. Yet there will also be moments of joy, rediscovery, and peace. For someone who has lived so long under the weight of public expectation, the act of simply choosing her own future may be the most powerful statement she could ever make. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is clear: Anna Duggar's goodbye is not just to a marriage. It is to an era of silence. It marks the beginning of a new voice, one that belongs solely to her. For those watching, it serves as both an ending and a beginning, a reminder that even after years of pain, it is never too late to reclaim one's story, one's strength, and one's peace. Thanks for watching.